Shimano Stradics, you would have to say that they're one of the best medium priced reels around. Sure, you can buy a lot more expensive, better reels, but a Shimano Stradic it's a genuine quality workhorse reel. And I've got a few Stradics. I've got a few other reels as well. One of the things that I have done with a lot of my other reels, if they don't already come with them, is I've changed the drag systems over to a carbon type drag washer rather than the felt washers. Now, one of the things that goes wrong with reels that have the felt washers is that all the felt washers have got a light oily grease they're impregnated with from brand new, and the expectation is that you pull them apart and carefully clean them and dry them out and then re-oil them. Now, particularly if you're fishing in the salt and that reel gets any salt water on it, often what happens is that the salt water will dilute the lubricant that's on the felt drags. Or if you do like I do and you bring the reel and the rod home and then you rinse it off afterwards with fresh water, same thing can happen. So I thought I'd run through with you. I've got a Stradic that I noticed recently was playing up with the drag, and what it was doing, you can see that it's jerky. Okay, and invariably what happens is you start tightening the thing up more, but it's still jerky, and it gets to the point where I actually lent the rod and the reel to someone recently, and they wound up tightening it up too far, and when the drags are not lubricated properly, if they've become diluted with water and so on, they overheat and then they start to come apart. So I've already had a look at this reel. This is a 2500 Stradic, and I've already had a look at it and I've worked out what's going on with it, and I've ordered in the washers that I need for it, and I'm going to run through with you just how easy it is to change over to carbon type washers. We'll sit down and we'll go through this together, and I'll show you what it is that you do to change it over. Righto. So as I said, I've already had a look at this one, so I know what I'm doing, and I've already done a quick clean of it and removed all the damaged bits of the fibre washers. So you need to just pull out the circlip, and the best way to do that with these circlips is just like I just did then. Pull that out, and then you can actually remove the three metal components to the drag, and these drags have 3 fibre washers, and you can see that fibre washer there is pretty screwed up. The other fibre washers that were already in there when I pulled it apart, they're in the bin. They're all toast. Okay, so what you do next is, without getting anything on your line, you want to give this a bit of a clean. Get rid of any of the old bits and pieces that are in there. So in particular, the old grease. So I'm getting rid of the fibres, but I just used some iso alcohol propofol on there, but there's plenty of other cleaners you can use. I use that because it dries of its own, leaves it very clean. And what I'm trying to do is, you'll see why in a minute, but I'm trying to get rid of all the old grease. So then, this is the last of the fibre washers. That's junk. So just give each of these a clean. You need to clean both surfaces. This is actually a really simple operation that I would say pretty much anyone can do. Okay, so you can buy what's called Carbontex in sheets. Now these are Carbontex fibre washers, and the Stradics, along with a lot of the other reels, the Aeros, the Biomasters, Rariums, Stellas, Sarases, they've all, and Sustains, Techniums, Twin Powers, they've all got the same, depending on the model number, but the same washers in them. So I got another 4000 Stradic that I'm going to be doing this to shortly. Okay, so Carbontex is the brand, and they're just a thin carbon fibre washer. Okay, now the trick to these, a lot of companies, when you buy your reels, a lot of companies supply these, and they're dry. And what I do is I use this, and it's hopefully you can see that, not reflecting in the light. It's Kel's Universal Reel and Star Drag grease. It's American made, and I've got the purple one because I just think that's just really cool. And the trick to these is the first washer actually needs to be on the bottom. You don't need lots of grease. All you need is just a little bit of grease. So you don't need to overdo it. You don't want it all clogging up with grease in there. So all you're doing is putting a light film on there, just like that. And then you place the drag washer down there like that. Okay, and it just goes straight in. This then goes on top of it. You can, if you like, just put a light film of grease on it, but again, there's a saying in the car industry, there's no such thing as too much grease, but actually there is. So you put that in there, and then you get your next washer, and again just a light film of grease, both sides. And then after the second washer, this one here, and this is trick number 2, this actually has slots that it sits in. So see the little recesses top and bottom there, they line up with these. If you don't get it in those, it's not going to fit. And what will happen is you'll get the final one in, and then try and the top to it, and try and put the circlip in, and it won't work. Okay, that's the final drag washer in place, and then you just got that. So we'll just get a final rubber grease on the surface of that. And again, all you've got to do there is push it down so that it's all in one slot, and then in goes your circlip. There we go. Okay, and you'll see that's actually now holding your drag in position. And that's it. You've just done a transplant on that reel, and you now have it set up with carbon fibre drags. So what we might do is put it back on the reel, and I'll show you it in operation. Very smooth.